Cat owners of Reddit, what's the weirdest thing your cat has done? I have had too many cats over the years, so I'll put one my newest, Dobby the house cat, here. He likes to sleep with me, preferably on my legs or snuggled up close to face. He also happens to wake up before I do and tries to wake me up to let me know he has to be fed. Apparently, I had been sleeping with my mouth open and I woke up to Dobby, his whole front paw in my mouth, and he's giving me the most evil of cat glares. I was 2 hours late for breakfast. I used to have a cat that had an obsession with Chinese food. The amount of times she trotted along with an egg roll she secured was too numerous for me comfortably admit. I had a few cats over the years. Cat 1. If you are leaving for a trip, she will sit on your suitcase for hours to try and prevent you from leaving. Cat 2. He clawed a towel and ended up getting all 4 of his claws stuck in it. Moments later he was wrapped in the towel crying pathetically because he failed to get free. Cat 3. When I worked evenings he would sit on the couch near the front door waiting for me to come home. As soon as I walked up the porch he would curl up and pretend that he is asleep. Walked to the end of the driveway, turned around, then ran as fast as he could to the front sliding door, launched himself at the fly screen, and used the momentum and the swinging weight of his body to slide the door completely open and walked on in like the motherfucking boss he was. My cat will literally park her off of my back onto the furniture. The first time it happened I thought my partner came up behind me and shoved me, but no. My cat eats the dog's food to assert dominance. He meows for attention and only stops if I pick him up and carry him around. I've had to learn the difference between his "I'm hungry" meows and his "I need attention" meows and his "I don't need anything, I'm just messing with you" meows. Every time I sneeze, my cat comes out from wherever he is and meows at me with concern. I choose to believe he's meowing "bless you." My cat is 17 years old. She will replicate the sound of our alarm to wake up. If we change it, she will change how she screams to get fed. She will always scream her version of our alarm an hour early. And she will always change her screaming. I love her screaming. Edit. So reminded me of something. So she has trouble pooping. We started giving her a treat every time there's a new poop. Now she will pinch it off early to get a treat, wait, then poop the rest. We can't not give her a second treat, but my kitten will wait for me to turn on my computer after work so he can watch my moving background I have and looks at me when I open Chrome or something if he's still watching the background. I was having acupuncture at home and my cat jumped on the bed and looked at me with an extremely worried face. Suddenly he started taking the needles out of my body one by one with his mouths. It was quite bizarre. The cat I had when I was a kid developed a weird habit later in her life. Whenever she was laying on me, she'd stare me dead in the eyes and just slowly stretch a paw up and stick it in my mouth. Don't know why. My cat carries a stuffed fish around my house and meows with it in her mouth. I actually created a compilation on all the weird things my cat does. https://imgur.com/gallery/Huvmer. My previous cat would sit in my hair while I slept, butthole against my scalp. Took my cat, Lassie, to the vet for her annual checkup. She was high-strung, did not like being touched by strangers, and hated the vet. Knowing this, the vet's assistant held her down firmly while the vet inserted the thermometer. Except Lassie didn't resist. On initial penetration, Lassie relaxed and raised her butt into the thermometer until it was fully inserted. Then she purred. The vet looked at me. The assistant looked at me. All I could do was shrug and say, I have no idea. This. https://www.reddit.com/r/c4hp1y/cat_jumphug/ We're used to it now, but the first time he jumped from the floor into our arms, it was adorable but also very surprising. Including childhood pets, he's my 8th cat. This is the first time I've had a cat who enjoys being held, let alone insists upon it. My cat is very particular about my sleeping times. She will scream at me if I stay up too late and stubbornly wake me up in the mornings if I sleep in. She has tried many methods of waking me up. My favorite was when she once placed her entire little body under my neck and then lifted up. My cat used to have a little bell collar when she was little, but she would always try to remove it by getting her lower jaw under it and unclipping it. Sometimes she couldn't get it loose and would get her jaw stuck in the collar. Several times that poor cat came to us for help with her mouth forced wide open by the collar so that we could unclip it. After a few weeks we gave up on the collar. I have a weird but kinda sweet story. My cat is usually all about my husband. When my husband is home the cat follows him around, demands to get picked up and held like a baby, and cuddles with him the most. Unless I'm sick. Even when it's just a migraine, the cat seems to know and cuddles with me and won't leave my side until I feel better. So, about a month ago I was feeling horrible, sick to my stomach, migraine, really bad period cramps, a sore throat, all topped off with congestion so bad I had to breathe out of my mouth for days. So I'm laying in bed, hoping some medicine will kick in, and I can fall asleep when I feel the cat jump off the bed. I figured he was going to leave me be, but he came back in about a minute and dropped something in my hand, which I had laying kind of open on the bed beside me, palm up. It was a water bottle cap. I have no clue where he found it. We haven't had water bottles in the house in at least a year, if not 1.5 years. I don't know why he brought it to me. But he thought, in that moment, I needed that cap. He got all the head scratchies and cuddles that day. I was thinking about my cat being sentient and communicating with me telepathically. I looked behind me and she was staring at me with her head turned in my direction. My sister has a loft bed with a stepladder she got last year. From the bed, the cats can't see her, but two of them have figured out how to use the stepladder to get their cuddles in the middle of the night. Not only that, but one of them, Brutus, will actually ask if she's there by meowing to announce his presence and waiting for her to call him up. We figured he did this because he was too lazy to go up the ladder and check himself lol. One of our other cats, Mealy, hates the loft bed with a passion and can't figure out its purpose. Sometimes I'll be sitting on the floor talking to her while she's in her bed, and Mealy will come in and freak out once she hears my sister's voice. She can't comprehend why she can hear her but not see her, and she bolts out of the room. I really would like to know what that cat is thinking though as she runs out. Maybe she thinks the bed is haunted. My cat sat up, voraciously licked his erect dick while simultaneously shitting himself. He keeps on licking a certain wall, tiles, in the bathroom and a stone column in our front yard. He licks those daily. I can't tell why he does that despite checking on Google for answers. One of my kitties, Binks, has a shoe fetish. Or maybe just a foot fetish in general. Loves rubbing on shoes constantly, especially when I get home and first take them off she will come dashing from the next room to shove her face in them. And she is the type of cat that will bite when you pet anywhere but her head unless it is done with feet, and then she purrs the entire time. I was on the toilet with my pants and underwear around my ankles, and she apparently thought they'd make a good hammock, so she jumped into my underwear still around my legs and proceeded to curl up and fall asleep. Not exactly weird, but the dumb motherfucker kept finding ways into the walls of my old apartment, then scream until he found his way to an exit. Idiot. My cat goes batshit crazy when she smells bleach. She frantically scent marks and spazzes out in front of the toilet every time I put it in there. She seems to be in stress. I put her in a bedroom on the other side of the house now. Our cat absolutely loves being held when anyone is on the toilet. I have no idea why. She will come in the bathroom with you and beg to be picked up and purr so loudly when you hold her. It's so fucking weird. My cat puts live spiders in her mouth and brings them to me in my bed while I'm sleeping. My cat can jump up and hit the ice maker so he can play with the ice cubes when they hit the floor. My cat will carry socks in his mouth from the laundry room to the living room, meowing as loudly as he can the entire time, and now he's sort of passed the trait on to the other cats and they've started doing the same thing. My cat will sit facing a random room corner and just stare at it for 30 minutes. Once in a while she'll try to attack it. I've checked many times there is nothing on the wall when she stares at it for 30 minutes straight. I had a 8-week-old kitten that hated me, hated me. Every time I tried to apply flea treatment or even just brush her, always being very gentle and with no sudden movements from the sides or above, she swiped and hissed at me like I was Satan himself. I've raised cats before, but even the shelter manager told me that I might not be able to successfully socialize the kitten she hadn't been able to and that it was totally okay to bring her back if it didn't work out. And then, one odd day, the kitten did a 180 and became the most friendly, belly-showing cat, following me around the apartment and such and talking. In fact, she became pretty clingy at times, almost like a dog and always needing companionship. When I come home she's waiting by the front door. She wasn't ill or hungry, the vet found nothing weird, it's as if some switch flipped in her and she decided I was okay. When I asked the vet about this strange behavior, she just shrugged her shoulders and said cats. I had a cat that didn't know how to meow. It actually didn't speak cat. I don't know what language this creature was speaking. It didn't meow. That guy Ed. Sometimes he seemed like he was honestly trying to meow, but it still just came out as mga. He was a total sweetheart though. Had this one water dispenser for over 2 years without it being a thing. If I let it run dry, she'd let me know by ramming her head into it, but that was very rare and it was mostly fine. Then all of a sudden she'd wake me up nearly every night ramming her head into it as if it were empty. 2 times she knocked it off kilter enough that it dumped everything more than the bowl could hold, and the second time was enough. I just got rid of it. Like you win, bitch. I don't even know why you wanted this so bad, but there's literally no other solution. You win. My cat is obsessed with bottle caps. Whenever he hears one being unscrewed, even if he's fast asleep and we're across the house, he comes running to steal them. They're his favorite toys. I keep a jar full of them, and whenever he invariably bats one under the couch or fridge, he goes and fishes a new one out.